Hello, guys. Welcome to the series that I have going on here. I think I was going to call it New Movie Mondays, but then I decided I was going to change it to make more sense. It's really my first time watching. So uh, that's the name of the series, my first time watching. And so, first time watching the movie is Gargoyles, 1972. I'm going to see if I can read a few things about this movie for you. All right. Gargoyles, 1972. Gargoyles is an American made for television fantasy horror film directed by W.B.L. Norton and originally broadcast Tuesday, November 21st, 1972 for CBS, the new CBS Tuesday Night Movies. It was the first film to feature the makeup work of special effects artist Stan Winston, for which he shared the 1973 Emmy Award for Outstanding Achievement in Makeup. So even though 1972 the makeup wasn't that wonderful if we compare it to today's standards, but in 1972, this was a big deal. People had never seen the likes of this kind of stuff before. And so it even came before Star Wars, the most legendary movie, sci-fi, where you can have people with lots and lots of different makeup and prosthetics. It came even before that. So this is fabulous. This is wonderful. It was an incredible achievement for the time, and there were so many different designs for this particular movie. It was big, made a big deal. So I'll tell you a little bit about the plot. So the plot of the story is that Dr. Mercer Bowley and his daughter Diana are traveling in Devil's Crossing in New Mexico for his scientific research. They are shown a skeleton of a large creature with wings and horns at a place called Uncle Willie's Desert Museum. So these two are quite the pair. This is Diana and her father. They are plotting supernatural goods that they're collecting, and the father has written a lot of books, and he has his daughter do sexy poses and with these relics so that way it can sell. So these guys are opportunists, and they're not ashamed of it. They are celebrating it. It starts off with a little narration about the devil sending gargoyles to take over the world. And there's a battle between humans, which the gargoyles have lost. And at this point in time in history, they have been considered myth. And no one actually believes that they exist. So all the bones that are collected and seen, or any kind of artifacts, are really being treated as hoaxes. Dr. Booley is really he's collecting these relics and talking about them because he thinks it's sensational, and he's out for a profit, and he thinks that by talking about these items, it's really creating a disturbance. People are upset by it, and so just even the notion that the devil exists makes people really feel kind of uneasy, and it sells his books. You think, well, the young girl, she must be, innocent in all this. No, she is complicit in it all. And yeah, I did love that slight little edge that these guys are morally ambiguous, and possibly even would do anything for money. The old man that they see shows them this relic, and this relic is the skeleton of a gargoyle, and it is one of the forms of gargoyles that are in existence. Right then and there, the entire cabin that they are in gets attacked by gargoyles, and they steal the skeleton. The skeleton is, I believe, of one of their own, and so they must have it back. It is something that they do continuously on and on in the film. That's, I would say, the cause of this whole thing, because of this whole story, because if they were just content to let this man have these bones, nothing nothing would have come of it, and they would have continued on as normal. It's something that belongs to them, surely, but unfortunately, they kill the man in the process. And the father and daughter, they pretty much leave the man there to die. And once they contact the police, they don't actually tell the police what's happening, because the father says, hey, well, let's let the police figure it out as a puzzle. Let's have them have something to do. This way they won't suspect us of anything. But I think that was the fear of possibly being implicated in the crime of possibly killing this man, but also it was also careless for them to do that, because they indeed found some people. They find some bikers. The cops blame the bikers for the murder, and which is completely false. Now, I don't know, from this picture, you might be able to see the one right in the middle. That is Scott Glenn, who is playing one of the bikers, and he doesn't get a lot of screen time, but he is a presence in the film. He has always been a really great actor. So the father and daughter are really having a hard time trying to reconcile what is going on, but they managed to keep the skull of the creature. Now, this is a big mistake, because guess what? The gargoyles want that too. And so the gargoyles come in, and they come in for the attack. They want that skull. Now, they have different looks. This one looks like this, obviously. And then there's some other masks. They have different shapes and looks, and I thought that was very unique that they did this. Kind of thing. Some of them have like a little fur, some of them have wings, some of them have scales all over their bodies. It's very well done, and for the time period. Now, here we have the main bad guy here, and I don't have a name for this particular creature. He's just the leader of the gargoyles, and he has taken a bit of a fancy to Diana. He actually takes her back to their lair, and this is where the humans really freak out and go on a warpath. They want to get her back, and they want this whole thing to stop. And so they all get together and go hunting for these gargoyles. Now, in the cave, the leader says that he wants Diana to teach him how to read, and he is fascinated with human beings and our culture. And so this is very unique. I didn't expect that he would, number one, speak, and that there was going to be such an interesting storyline between him and the young lady. Now, he he's not after her purely for romantic reasons or anything like that. He does have a mate, but there is a sexual kind of connotation to it all, a very interesting and strange dynamic that's happening between the two of them. And it may be like Beauty and the Beast, seeing that might be like the reason why there's this feeling of chemistry between the two. But she is indeed frightened to be there and wants to go home. This is the wife of the creature, of the female, and I thought it was very genius, a genius idea to have the gargoyles all look a little bit different from each other. Very fascinating to see their culture, and I wanted to see more of that. Actually, they display affection towards each other, and they're not just animals or beasts. They care about each other. And so this is why they needed to have the bones of their loved ones that were caught in the wild or killed in the wild. Yes, and this is where the story gets a little bit more interesting. They have nurseries where there's tons and tons of baby eggs that are hatching, and so it is, pretty scary as a human when the humans find this lair. They do destroy the lair and destroy the eggs as well, which is quite sad for the gargoyles. Yeah, I thought this was, well done for 1972. But decent special effects, makeup, scenery was really nice as well. Thumbs up for that. I'm sure if I saw this as a little girl, I would have been freaked out. I would have been freaked out if I saw this as a little girl. And so unfortunately, the humans, well, I'm saying unfortunately, because at some point during the storyline, you do start to feel for these creatures. You feel for the gargoyles that they are just starting to develop their little coven of them. And then all of a sudden, they are being exterminated. And so they do escape. And there's like a little speech by the leader. It sounds very threatening and very, I wouldn't say scary, but it does seem as if this is an eternal war between good and evil. And he clearly states that he is, pretty much evil at this point, and he and his wife fly away. It is chilling in a way because you're like, oh boy, so there must be part two to this, right? And I don't think there was ever a part two that was made of this movie, but it does have the sense of a much bigger picture. Like whatever they were setting up here, there was much more that was part of a story to be told, and not to mention it was a good story. It was a good story. There were a couple of choices. I probably would have done things a little bit differently, but yes, another thing that they said was that from 4 to 600 years, every 4 to 600 years, the gargoyles come back and wreak havoc on the human race. And I wondered, I've always wondered if by the end of the story, the father and the daughter, if they become religious, if they've changed their tune, if they continue to live the life that they were living before. And I wish we had more. I wish there was more to the story. I love the vastness of it, how big it felt. So, a little bit of trivia about the movie. The whole film was shot with a single camera, very low budget. This was really low budget, and there were some moments where I thought, "Wow, I like the camera work being used here." Um, and so that definitely a lot of ingenuity being used in this low budget achievement here. It looks very television made for TV movie, but like I said, it was 1972, so it looks pretty good for that era. Now, the scenes with the gargoyles running and moving were slowed down to give the gargoyles an unnatural, jerky quality. Worked very well. The hotel in the film was an old, out of business hotel near Carlsbad, New Mexico. It was actually burned down for the film, and Bernie Casey's voice was replaced by Vic Perrin's voice in post production because his natural speaking voice didn't fit the character for the lead gargoyle. So, Bernie Casey, just wanted to show you Bernie Casey. He is the actor who is playing the lead gargoyle. Okay, yes, so that was a quickie, guys. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun for me to watch this old movie, and it was great. Like I love seeing movies like this to kind of remind me of how things used to be, and especially like knowing that Stan Winston worked on this movie and received an Emmy for it. Like, it just really kind of blows my mind, like, look at how far we've come with special effects. And like I said, this kind of special effects, these kind of special effects really like wowed in its day, and I love having the respect for that kind of thing, that kind of talent, because we got to get there by steps, right? And so those little tiny steps that led up to like Jurassic Park and incredible movies that we love today. So uh, definitely, I'm awe-inspired by this movie. Guys, I hope you have a good day. I think this will be all that I say about this cute little movie. If you ever get a chance to, it is on YouTube. Yeah, I watched this movie on YouTube. So there is a wonderful channel called Creatures Features that is just so cute. It reminds me of those days of watching Up All Night with Rhonda Shear, and just they have an intro. They have some stuff like in between create just so that way there's some spots for commercial breaks. They did and Now and the Screaming Starts. They did Nightbreed 1990, Night of the Demons, Creature with the Atom Brain, Hell Night 1981, Fire 1977. Lots of really interesting movies that you've probably never seen before. Many of them are old horror movies from the old days. They do have playlists for you to take a look at. So I just wanted to share that with you, that I did watch it for free on YouTube on that channel, and it was really delightful. Very, very delightful. So guys, I think this will be it. I really appreciate you very much for helping out the channel so much. Your membership really means a lot to me, and I did quite enjoy making this video for you.